Hello everyone, Pallytub here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's video, we have made our way to Lili. Honestly, I really like Lili. People have some negative things to say about her. People hate on this character all the time just because she's so easy to pick up. But Lili is a lot of fun. And I'm going to show you, hopefully, the Pallytime build today. It's a build I came up with forever ago, and I've been playing it ever since. I've shown it off before in the past, but she's really good at blinds right now. Because so many people are rolling warriors, we may have to go for a blind build instead. So we'll see what we get. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Cursed Hollow today. Probably my second favorite map in the whole game, behind Blackheart's Bay. The friendly team, Nova, Kerrigan, Lili, Azmodan, and ETC. So fairly well balanced. We don't have a ton of range damage. Obviously, Azmodan can do a ton of range damage, but that's going to come in the late game. Murky, Lili, Kael'thas, Kerrigan, and Abathur for the enemy team. So we are going to go for the Pallytime build today. What you do in that build is start out with Conjurer's Pursuit. I should be totally fine to just set up top and solo this lane. Looks like our Nova's a little AFK. Nova will be roaming around the map, though. She will be dealing damage to any lane that needs it, hopefully. And we're just gonna hang out up top. Oh, this is a hate crime. I think he left me alone. Obviously, that little locust was trying to make its way into the tower to soak up some ammunition, and we're just gonna stop it from doing that. Because, yeah, you gotta play the game like everyone else, Abathur. You can't just attack towers before it starts. That's bullshit. With this build, incredibly important, if you are gonna follow along at home, to get as many regen globes as possible. Murky and Abathur are gonna be pushing this top lane down. It's gonna be pretty hard to deal with. So let's do our best. So, Lili has always been seen as the easiest support to play. Why is that? Because all of your healing is done without you really having to think about it. Your Q ability will target the person... Oh, fuck, I just walked into that. The person within this radius that needs the healing the most. And you can do that every 3 seconds. Just kind of... Look at Abathur. Look at him. That cheeky little fuck. Poke his little head out. It will just target whoever needs the healing the most within the area around you. So let's say that ETC is the lowest person around me. We're just going to heal ETC until he's not the lowest person around me. So if you do want to focus heals on someone, you do have to reposition a little bit. For instance, if there was someone here I wanted to heal a little bit more than ETC because I know he has his own sustain, we would have to pull back away from him a little bit in order to make that happen. So keep in mind, while it will just fucking heal people, you don't always necessarily want to heal the person at lowest health. I don't know why he dived the tower there. So positioning is really the most important aspect of playing Lili. Always keep that in mind. At level 3, or excuse me, level 4, we are going to be going for Blinding Wind hits more targets. This will build into what we're doing a little bit more later on. As of right now, it doesn't really help us out much because we're only going against one person in our lane. Keep in mind, Murky Abathur is one of the most dominant laning forces you could possibly go up against. So I won't be too surprised if he just starts to out-siege me at some point. But our W ability is Cloud Serpent. I really should be using this more. Usually this is what I forget to use on Lili, so please bear with me. I know I do have room to improve. That is going to just attach a serpent to whoever I decide to attach it to. So it's on ETC right now, and it'll just attack people around ETC. It's that simple. That's what it does. This has had a ton of interesting interactions in the past. So right now, the W ability just attacks. It has its own attack speed. It does its own thing. Previously, it used to attack based off the attack speed of the target you put the serpent on. So this was back in the days where right-click and Windvala was super strong, and right-click and Windvala excels on attack speed. You get rank core at level 1, and then you just auto-attack, and all of a sudden you have 10% faster attack speed. You know, this was a little bit after, but you get Nexus Frenzy again at level 20 to increase your attack speed even more, and all of a sudden your little serpent would be shooting off machine guns, and you could actually build to have more than one serpent out at a time. I believe with this build we're going to be able to do the same thing, although it's not necessarily intentional. That will come into play in the late game. But also characters like Tychus, who has the fastest attack speed in the entire game, used to just be hilariously good to play Lili with. Really incredibly dominant. Then they changed it a little bit. And for a while, I say a while, but really for like a week, the healing serpent was just scaled out of control. I have a video on my channel called Ban Lili. I recorded this on the last day of this unintentional bug happening, and Lili could heal for so much. It was just absolutely incredible, and it was honestly a blast to play. It was so much fun to play, even though like it was totally unintended and just felt broken. Lili was basically in every single game for those few days. Looks like a lot of people are dying. I'm still up here in the top lane. Looks like the tribute was bottom middle first, and now the tribute's bottom right, and we traded 1 for 1. I know I'm a support and I'm up here in the top lane, but if I left, like, we would lose top. So I'm trying to hang on to this as long as I can, and that should reflect in my XP contribution. I was the #1 on our team. But basically for that build, you would start out with nothing but serpent talents, and then your healing would just be astronomical. That has been fixed. That is no longer the case. So what we have now is a Lili who excels really, really well, as I mentioned earlier, versus blind comps. About a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, Lili's win rate just skyrocketed on HoTs logs. And she didn't receive any buffs, she didn't receive any nerfs. All of a sudden, her win rate just went through the roof. Why is that? It's because she was able to start building for more blinds in team fights, and she could stop warriors who, keep in mind, around the same time, or at the same time, this is why it happened, at the same time, warriors received some very significant buffs. Nearly all of them did. Stitches got a rework. Sonya became a lot more, or got a lot more play. And of course, blinds were always good against auto attack characters. The Butcher was super prominent in rotation at that time. And of course, if you blind the Butcher, he can't heal. So Lili kind of just started performing better in the meta of the game. And I saw a lot of people confused by this on Twitch and, you know, in the comments here. Why is Lili so good all of a sudden? Well, nothing changed. Lili's always been good at what Lili does. It's just that what Lili does is now a little bit more important to what's actually going on in the game. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really cool that more people were more keen on the Lili idea. In Hero League, a lot of people say that Lili's a hero that you're okay with taking, but it's not necessarily a hero that you want to take. And I completely disagree. I think she's a great character. Now, I did pick up Jug of 1000 Fuck Yous at level 10. This is it works very similar to your Q ability. It's just an AoE version of your Q ability that goes off significantly faster. So we are going to be healing a lot of people around us very quickly that need the healing the most. It still operates on that same target priority system. And before I forget, Lili's trait is Fast Feet. Whenever you get hit, you move faster. Helps you avoid a lot of damage. I highly recommend, if you're getting into Heroes of the Storm or you have a friend who wants to get in Heroes of the Storm, you have that friend play Lili. Lili is super fun, and really, she's not that hard to play. You just need to make sure that the person playing her is really aware of positioning. So the tribute is spawning in the bottom. Murky is currently top, and we just lost our ETC, so we are going to have some even numbers here right now. We should be able to keep our Nova alive just fine. Blind going out is going to stop a little bit of the damage that this Kerrigan can do. We're just going to try to heal these guys up here with our superior positioning. We're totally safe from anything that the enemy team could do to us there. And now we're going to play the aggressive Lili. The Serpent comes out, and we're just going to start to poke away at these guys. Murky still just shoving the top lane. Really, we should have our Azmodan right on top of that. He should be summoning in Generals of Hell non-stop, but I do believe that this is a new player Azmodan, and we haven't seen much of that. Azmodan does pick up the tribute for the friendly team. Asmodan, can you keep your generals pushing against this Murky? I spelled Murky wrong. Fuck it. Alright, so looks like they decided just to shove bottom lane, which, you know, is questionable when the entire enemy team is bottom. We're going to come in middle. The enemy team is cursed. They're not currently getting any shots off from these towers, and we should be able to do some meaningful stuff. Salamia Shalanore has greeted us in the middle lane. We are going to be going for hindering winds at level 13. This is going to allow our E ability, which is again a smart targeting ability. Usually it throws out winds, and those winds blind a target. It's going to allow us to use our winds to also slow targets down. So as you see, Salamia Shalanore all of a sudden not running away very quick. Now Kerrigan coming in. We're going to try to keep our Asmodan and her alive. The burst damage coming out from our Nova is going to secure the death of that Kerrigan, and that is some fucking proper ass Lili play right there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For some reason, ETC is bottom. Don't know why. He is currently attacking a fort, although ETC has some meh damage, so I don't know how much he's going to be able to do to that. This fort is focusing me, so I'm just kind of dancing by the line. If I needed to dip out, I easily could. Keep in mind your trait does increase your movement speed, but when you do get hit by a fort or a keep, it does slow your movement speed as well, and the slow kind of takes over. You don't really move that quick with fast feet. We are going to be able to keep everyone healed here, and I will admit that my Conjurer's Pursuit levels are pretty low. Again, I said at the beginning of this video, if you want to be successful with this build, you're going to need regen globes. I don't believe Asmodan's doing the general thing very often. I mean, I can keep an eye on it a little bit better, but we are just getting out-sieged by the enemy team here. That's okay. That's their win condition. They have Murky Abathur. They're going to try to win from pushing. I'm just going to move in here and get this regen globe and then be on my way. Ideally, we want around 30 by the time we hit level 20, and I'm a little slow on that. I mean, that's like the bare minimum. If you can get more, that's much better. For some reason, we're trading here. I don't know. He's tanking a minion wave too. Okay, he's starting to get some stacks. I'm going to leave. There's more important things for me to be doing than babysitting an Asmodan. Asmodan can take care of the lane just fine. I feel like we got a lot of new players on our team. Asmodan with the default skin. ETC, default skin, default mount. I believe he's taken a lot of time to read his talents. That appears to be what's going on here. So, the heavy team now pushing middle. Salami. As well as the Abathur top hat, as well as Kerrigan all moving in here now. I was trying to move around a little bit to dodge the Kerrigan combo, but it doesn't look like it was used. Just going to reposition a little bit to make sure we don't spread that living bomb. And now, can we get a kill here? You didn't combo. Okay, that's fine. Don't know why you're continuing to go in, and she's just going to get bursted down. That was a very unfortunate time to die. I did try to pop all of my cooldowns to keep her alive, but unfortunately it happened right when a tribute was spawning. So we're just going to have to give him this one, and that's quite simply all there is to it. Our Asmodan is pushing top lane still. Does he have a general down? No, he doesn't. And, yeah, we're just going to give him that. Asmodan is dying up top. So, play it. No one said anything this whole game. No one said a damn thing this whole game, and we're all kind of going off and doing our own thing. We are going to get 2 for 1 at level 16. Fuck, I just spread that bomb for no reason. Which is going to allow us to heal a little bit more every time we press our Q ability. It does have a higher mana cost, and it does increase the cooldown by 1.5 seconds, but you're able to heal 2 targets. That's more healing. That's good. Do that. We all need to stick together for the tribute, Kerrigan says. Okay, that's a fine enough plan. We can do that. I'm going to gather this regen globe. Abathur pushing down the bottom lane. We really need our Asmodan spawning in generals. Asmodan, please spawn in these generals. I'm just going to ult. Fuck it. Top lane is in a bit of a predicament right now. As Murky is still pushing. I like to call this strategy for Murky and Abathur the unending tide, or the unrelenting tide. Doesn't matter what you do, they're always just pushing right in. They're trying to end your life. I really should not have ulted there. Why did I do that? That was just dumb. We should gank here. We should gank here. We should have mosh pit. This was a perfect mosh pit opportunity, but instead, our ETC does hang back there. I'm going to go in with the slow on my E, stopping these guys from progressing, and then Kerrigan luckily pulled me out of her combo there. That was a perfect opportunity for our ETC to go in with a wombo combo, but it quite simply did not happen. I didn't have my ultimate there, which I probably could have used to keep myself alive, and the enemy team was wiped. Just for the record, there was no reason for our team to engage there at all. I moved in, sacrificing myself to try to stop them from getting the tribute, which we did. We did that perfectly fine. Our Asmodan apparently died up here again, and after I sacrificed myself, we had the tribute. We could have just left, cut our losses. At that point, they were outnumbered. They had 4 people here, considering they had the top hat of Abathur, and it was it a 2 or a 3v4? It was one of those two. No reason to fight that at all. We could have very easily ganked that with the ETC mosh pit in that bush. They did not see that coming, and it could have been done very nicely, but instead, we sacrificed our characters and allowed them to get a boss completely uncontested. This boss is now going to be pushing down the top lane, is going to get through this fort, no problem, and is going to start to deal a little bit of core damage. It probably won't get through the shield, but it will be dealing some core damage. Now, for some reason, the friendly team down in bottom lane, not doing much of anything, dealing with a mercenary camp when they should be top defending this. We are giving the team a curse. Kerrigan walking in by herself now, definitely not a good thing. We need everyone together. Our main problem in this game is everyone's just splitting up, just for the sake of splitting up. Does Asmodan have a single general down? No, he does not. We really need his generals to be helping with this split push. Essentially, what I know I'm focused on this a lot, but Asmodan's generals do increase the pushing capabilities of a minion wave. It could substantially hinder their split push strategy if he was using those enough, and he's quite simply not using them. This fight going on at the tribute for some reason. Again, our entire team split up and walked into a what was it, a 2v4 or 3v4 there? Yeah. I don't know why we just didn't let them have that. There was no reason to contest that. Whatever, they get a curse. We kill them while they're doing things. The boss was definitely the higher priority there. We could have had everyone there, maybe could have saved the keep, and then we could have moved in and done some work. Now the enemy team pushing middle. Of course, they're going to get this fort, no problem. Then start to do some damage to our tier 2 defenses. The enemy team, meanwhile, probably just chilling at the boss. But I'm not going to go over there to check. There's no reason for me to go over there. We should be able to keep this ETC alive, no problem. Never mind. He is going to be taken down very quickly. I guess when you tank this entire minion wave and you're in an octo grab, you are going to be killed pretty quick. Let's see, moving on down here. Is there anything we could do? They did pick up boss, called that one. Saw that coming all day long. The Abathur does have the double top hat on the symbiote and on the Murky, so the unending tide is still pushing. Our Kerrigan's top for absolutely no reason. She has given up on this game. And our Asmodan still has not used a general in any location. So essentially, we just queued with a bunch of new players who don't know how to play their characters. And you know what? That's something that happens. The build would continue to pick up Kung Fu Furry or whatever it's called. Kung Fu Hustle. It's definitely not Kung Fu Furry. Nope, it's not that. Which allows you to reduce your cooldowns every single time you get hit. I've shown this build off on the channel in the past. If you want to see a winning version of this, just look at my last Lili video. It's a great build because the upgrade for Jugs, I mean, it's okay. But with Kung Fu Hustle, every time you take damage, your cooldowns get reduced, and you can pop an ultimate off like every 30 seconds. You can heal every second almost on the dot as long as you're taking damage. So you do have to position a little more aggressively. And then you're also able to throw out multiple serpents, increasing your damage output, and you're able to slow and blind people significantly more with the talents that we got. It's a really fun build. I definitely recommend you try it out. We just had absolutely no teamwork here today, but that's okay. This is you know, we can lose this kind of stuff every now and then. We can't win them all. That's all right. Talents, once again, Conjurer's Pursuit. I can't stress how important this talent is to make the Palytime build for Lili work. You are going to have better success with this on smaller maps, so It is a little bit harder to get regen globes on Cursed Hollow, but for instance, on the Tomb of the Spider Queen, or that, you know the small maps, is fine. Just focus on getting those regen globes. Have people soaking every lane, and you can bounce between the lanes just getting globes like warriors like to do. You can play exactly like that. Again, Mash Vortex to go with your level 13 talent. You're going to hit more people. You're going to hit double the people with your Mash Vortex, and then you're going to slow those people down by 25% for 2 seconds. Once you have Kung Fu Hustle in the mix, you can spam this ability so often. You're not going to be able to permanently keep people slowed, but if they are running away from you, your team is going to be able to pick up kills just fine. To increase our healing, we did get the good stuff. Healing Brew heals for an additional 60 health over 6 seconds. Just a little bit of a heal over time. And then 2 for 1, which of course does the heal over time as well on 2 targets. Jug of 1,000 fuck yous to keep everyone alive. And then once again, at level 20, Kung Fu Hustle for the massive cooldown reduction. It's an insanely fun build for Lili. If you haven't tried it before, I encourage you to do so. And I am going to be going into the next character right away, Lieutenant Morales.